On the heels of this TikTok vote, if you're not already thinking about your kids and social media, and most parents are all the time, it's intimidating. You don't know what to do about it. You could use some help. Mark Berkman joins us, CEO of the organization Social Media Safety, about something called Sammy's Law. Let me thank you up front, Mark, for the work you're trying to do.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, I appreciate you being on. Andrea's here with me as well. What is Sammy's Law?
So Sammy's Law, what it would do is finally give parents the choice to be able to use what we call third-party safety software with any social media platform that allows children. So third-party safety software is just software not connected to the social media platform that can send alerts to parents when any dangerous content comes across a child's social media account. And so that's content like cyberbullying, sexual predation, drug trafficking, suicidal ideation. There's a long list of dangers that it provides life-saving protection for. So we're just trying to give parents that choice to be able to use it.
Mark, this sounds very common sense. I know you're going to be telling us what you're doing in Springfield next week, but why would social media companies oppose this type of proposal, this type of legislation? Because, it seems very common sense with regard to what parents are watching their children do and observe and see online.
Yeah, it's a great question. And the truth of the matter is they don't have very good policy points in opposition. There are plenty of social media platforms that already allow this access. So the reason we need the law is that the social media access at the parent's choice, basically, open the window, flip the switch, and allow data between the child's account to the safety software company when the parent says, I want to use the safety software. And so the platforms that refuse this choice, and two big ones are Snapchat and TikTok, where a lot of our kids are spending, up to a quarter or more of their day. They'll make arguments like they're protecting the privacy rights of the child from their parents. But the truth is that safety software is actually preserves more privacy than the existing options that parents are trying to employ to keep their kids safe. And so we'll see parents duplicate their child's social media accounts on their parent phone or manually review those accounts. Safety software just sends alerts to parents when a danger comes across the child's account. So it actually preserves a lot of privacy for the child, and the parent's not inundated with all of this constant information, all the messages that the kids are sending throughout the day. And so there's not a really good policy opposition on this bill. It's very common sense. It's bipartisan, but the impact I cannot understate. It would provide a really immediate extra protection for millions of kids. And we're seeing so much harm out there.
Yeah, overstate.
Oh, absolutely.
We're not understating. We're overstating.
Oh, for sure.
But here's the thing, Mark Berkman. The questions that'll come up for parents as they listen to this is, does my kid know it's on the phone?
Actually, under the bill, we have some guardrails in place to address all of these talking points against the bill. And one of those guardrails is that, yes, the child is disclosed that a parent is using safety software under the bill. That's a requirement. And that's what we recommend for parents anyways, if they want to use any type of software, because the second you get that alert about a harm, you're going to have to go speak to your child. And if you haven't told them you're using, they're going to lose trust in you. That's going to create conflict. And telling them that the software is on it is a big part of the battle, because it's going to deter them from engaging in some of these really dangerous activities that we're seeing children engage in on social media. So that is baked into the bill here.
But it'll also be a huge help, because obviously parents will then be alerted if their child is subject to either bullying or harassment or any of these other topics and issues that we're hearing, unfortunately, Mark, on a daily basis now.
Yeah, I was speaking to someone just the other day. So we deal with families all the time that have employed the existing safety software options. I was speaking to a mom who was so grateful in tears because her child was being severely cyberbullied, had started engaging in suicidal ideation. So the child was talking about suicide, and she would not have known that but for the alerts from safety software. And so in that case, we really believe, like in many other cases that we deal with, that safety software was a life-saving option here. And then we also hear from all the other parents that have to deal with tragedy, that their child was being cyberbullied, they didn't know about it, and then they died by suicide. Their child was engaging in substance abuse and receiving drugs through social media, and there was a lethal overdose. We hear about sextortion, sexual predation.
It's all out there. And when the phone is in the bedroom, you're allowing a stranger in the bedroom. That's why we've talked about this before. Don't allow your kid to charge a phone. Look, we would like for there to be talk that goes on ahead of time and for your kid to understand that you're in charge and to listen to you. But in the real world, that ship may have sailed to some degree, and you need the extra help.
Exactly. And it's not, but strangers, a huge issue, people that your child do not know. It's also people in their class that are engaging in the cyberbullying and some level of sextortion. So peers and strangers, there's so many dangers here. And parent involvement and intervention can really be life-saving.
And you're going to be speaking next week to the Consumer Protection Committee in Springfield.
That is the plan, yes.
Okay, good.
Last question from our friend Amanda in Dyer, Indiana. What if a kid has a dummy account for the parents to see and a separate account for what they're actually up to?
So that happens. Safety software is actually really good at dealing with that. It can tell you when a child signs out of an account on their device. And so there are tech options to ensure that monitoring continues to happen.
All right. We appreciate your time. If people want to find out more about what you're doing, where do they go?
They could go to socialmediasafety.org.
It's as simple as it gets.
That's great.
Socialmediasafety.org. Keep us up to date with how this progresses.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me on.
Thank you, Mark.
Appreciate you being on. So, and
That's
a
great.
lot of
I
folks
think,
are behind this as well.
You know, and I would say if children or, people young people underage who have a problem with their parents doing that, can follow the line of what my mom used to say to me. Why? Because I said so. Because I'm doing it.
Yeah, you do have to be the parent, but if you've got a fracture in the relationship, and it can happen at any time, you might need the extra help.
Yeah, that's true.
And Cookie says, I use the Bark app, B-A-R-K. It's amazing. So much help with monitoring our son's activities. That's a great lead. Our friend from the Naperville Police Department.
Oh, is that social or is that for social sites?
Phones as well.
Okay, yeah.
Fights against, sextortion and that type of thing. Because, your kid could be bullied into not telling you something. Could be a great kid.
Bullied,
see it all the time.
hate speech, substance abuse. I mean, there's so many ways to be targeted online.
But Bark's another app you ought to look into if this is something you think you need right now.